Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review of another 80s horror film. And this time it is Hell Night. Now this is a film that I had not seen before. At least maybe just bits and pieces, but not the whole film. And I found it to watch online on this site that's kind of like Hulu, but not really. It's like Tube I or Tube E. Had a bunch of free horror films to watch. And this was on there, and I really enjoyed it. In fact, I'll have to pick up the Blu-ray sometime. Is it like Arrow Video that has it, or see if it has any features, anything? It's directed by a guy named Tom DeSimone, and it stars Linda Blair. You also have Peter Barton, and Friday the 13th fans may know him as the guy in Friday the 13th, the final chapter, who got his head crushed in the shower by Jason. He's a co-star in this. Also has a guy named Vincent Van Patten. And the story is about, there's this college costume party, and these 4 pledges are told to spend the night in this spooky mansion. And the story is that there was a guy who had a wife and a bunch of kids. Each kid was more and more deformed, and the guy murdered his wife and his kids. Although one of them didn't die. And then you kind of hear that maybe also one of the other's bodies weren't found. And then the guy himself killed himself. I think it was by hanging. And just pretty much this story, the stare of the pledge is, but it's like, hey, you guys spend the night, otherwise you can't be in the fraternity, as Linda Blair, Peter Barton, the surfer guy, Vincent Van Patten, and then this other girl. While the 4 stay at the mansion, a couple other kids, they're there to fuck with them, scare them. For example, they have this stuff that blows and closes doors, open and shut, and we'll lock them, and they have this like remote control thing. Or they had speakers and electronics to have screams and moans to scare the 4 pledges, including Linda Blair, but then they find out what's going on. I thought the actors did a good job. I like Linda Blair. I thought even, in films like Savage Streets, The Exorcist, she did a good job in those films. Never minded her as an actress. Peter Barton, even Vincent Van Patten, he's the surfer guy type of guy, but I thought he did fine, and I thought it was also interesting that what they were trying to do with his character. Probably one of my few nitpicks with the film is I wish they had followed all the way through with what I thought they were doing with the character, which I'll get to. But then people started getting killed, and I thought the kills were entertaining. One woman gets dragged, and she gets decapitated. One guy gets his head turned 180. One guy gets killed with, I think it's called a scythe, kind of like the things Grim Reaper has. So I thought the kills were pretty decent. Granted, I could have used a bit of a bigger body count. Maybe that's the other flaw I have. But I'm a sucker for bigger body counts. Doesn't automatically make you a good movie, but it doesn't hurt. I thought the thing is, the characters were fine. The acting was fine. The atmosphere of this, big spooky mansion. I thought it was a decent, I don't want to say location, but decent place they shot at. I'm a sucker for movies where you're in an area that has secret rooms and tunnels and vents, which this does all around the property. And there's been other films like The People Under the Stairs and other flicks that have done that sort of thing. I don't know, it just makes it a little bit more interesting to me. Vincent Van Patten, I thought they did a sort of interesting thing where of the 4, they find one of them has their head cut off. And Vincent Van Patten decides to steal this gate. At A, he makes it. which is surprising. B, he's like, I'm going to go get help. And he does. Like, this is a guy who, in another film, he'd just be like, he'd die right away, or fuck you, I'm in it for myself, or... But he tries to talk to the cops. They don't believe him because that fraternity put like a shitload of false calls and pranks. Although realistically, the cops would check it out no matter what. But I mean, then you wouldn't have a movie. But I mean, it is funny how easily the Vincent Van Patten's character gets like guns. Like, he just wanders into a room of the police station, grabs a shotgun and shotgun shells. I'm like, all these cops should be fired. Every cop should be fucking flawed and fired as fuck. Because this guy just literally just went into your police station and took fucking shotgun and shells out from under your donut-eating noses. But he does come back with a shotgun and kills the villain. Or so we think. It's only one of the villains, and there's actually two villains. And then he gets pulled and killed off screen. And I think that would have been interesting if that character lived. Because I think that would have made it even more surprising. Because Peter Barton's character, who's the potential boyfriend of Linda Blair, he gets killed. Because the second creature, monster, bad guy, throws him out the window to his death. And then it's only just Linda Blair. So yeah, I think it would have been interesting that Vincent Van Patten, I don't know, I just would have liked that character to live. But anyway, that's just a little personal nitpick. I mean, if you don't kill off Peter Barton anyway, you might as well let the other guy live. And you just still have Linda Blair make the death blow on the second killer. Which I do like that kill where she is driving a car, the monster's on the windshield, and she smashes through this broken fence that was the gate and impales the killer. I thought that was pretty satisfying. And then she gets out, walks off, the movie ends. It's not a downbeat ending, it's not a sequel bait ending, it's not an insulting twist. So that's what I mean. I mean, again, a bigger body count would have been nice. Vincent Van Patten would have been nice to have him live. Just given all the stuff the character went through. For me, he deserved to live. Because he did the right thing, came back and helped out and killed one of the bad guys. But I mean, the kills that were there were fun. The actors, I thought, did their jobs fine. I like Linda Blair in the lead. I like the property with all these different tunnels and secrets and hidden rooms. And there's a point where Linda Blair, Peter Barton find like the bad guys, the killer's lair. And yeah, I thought they had some decent atmosphere in this mansion they were shooting at. Or built, however. I don't know, because I don't know much info about the making of the film. I don't know if the Blu-ray has a lot of features. If you guys have it, you can let me know. And a satisfying ending. So yeah, this was a welcome surprise of a slasher film. Definitely one I would like to put in my collection someday. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I thought it was one of the better ones. I mean, you gotta think that by this point I've been pre-recording a bunch of videos, and some of the ones coming up, like, what was it? What was that movie called? I can't believe I forgot what the fuck the movie was called. I mean, X-Ray, AT Hospital Master wasn't much. I mean, I don't know if I hated it, but it wasn't much. Girls Night Out, that was the one I was thinking of. That dull-ass movie, which I'll get to that. Well, I pre-recorded, so you'll see that sometime. But yeah, Hell Night, thumbs up for me. So, but either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you in the next video. for another 80s horror movie review. Later.